Hello, my dear children. Welcome to the online class of class 7th science. So, dear students, I started the lesson physical and chemical change. Okay, in the previous class, I was explaining you about the physical change. Okay, so what is physical change? So before that, we understood the definition of physical properties. Okay, so properties such as change in the size, color, and state of the substances. If this happens, then such a change is called, properties are called physical properties. So these are the physical properties of any substance. Okay, so what is physical change? A change in which the substance undergoes change in its physical properties. Okay, so if any substance undergoes change in its physical properties, such as change in size, change in its color, change in its state, that is solid to gas, gas to liquid, liquid to solid, like that. Okay, if there is a change in the size, color, as well as its state, then such a change is called physical change. Okay, so one thing you must keep it in mind, my dear students, a physical change is used generally reversible, means it can be brought to its original state again. Okay, so in such a change, no new substance is going to be formed. Okay, if physical change forms, or if physical change occurs, then it can be reversible. Reversible sense, keep it in mind, it can be brought to its original form. For example, a rubber band. Okay, so when you drag it, okay, stretch it, so its size changes. Okay, so there is an increase in its size. So once you leave it, again its size comes back to normal shape, right? Am I right or not? So now you understood the concept. What is physical change? So when the physical change occurs, only the change occurs in its size, state, and color, but after that you can bring it to its original shape. That's what it is called as what? Reversible. Okay, so but in physical change, no new substance is going to be formed. Okay, so dear students, in today's class, now let's go for the next concept, that is chemical change. Okay, so dear students, you might all have seen many things, okay, in your surroundings or in your home. So sometimes you bring to your notice of your parents, okay, see this thing, so this metal has turned into brownish color, like that. Okay, see here a change which is quite familiar to you, that is what? Chemical change. Okay, chemical change is usually known to you, but we are unaware of that. For example, rusting of iron is a most common chemical change that we observe. Okay, so if you leave any piece of metal, okay, in outside of your house, which is which can be exposed to the sun or light, whatever it is, okay, to the moist air, okay, whatever it is. So once or whenever a piece of iron, if it is kept in an open place for some days or some months, okay, so immediately it acquires a brownish film on it. Okay, so this substance we call it as rust. Okay, the process of accumulation of this brownish layer, or we call it as rust, is called as rusting. Okay, the process of formation of brownish layer on a piece of metal when it is exposed to a moisture, okay, then such a process is called rusting process. Okay, so usually the rusting process takes place in the things which are made of iron and which are out of the houses or buildings, or whatever the out of our homes or out of the buildings, it should be there. For example, the metal gates, okay, of school, colleges, buildings, homes, okay, they usually, you see, after 5-10 years they start getting the rust. This is because of what? More exposure to the moisture, maybe rain, sun, whatever it is. Okay, oxygen, yes, these things. So iron gates usually, which are kept in the dark, no, in the parks, in the farmlands, so they all get accumulated with the rust. And you sometimes you must have observed in the parks they have seats. Okay, seats are made for the people to sit, so those are, if they are made of iron, then they also got accumulated with the rust. Okay, these are the examples of rusting process, because they are kept open in the open area, so they get rusted. Okay, so even the homes, in some materials in home, if you keep it open just beside your home, behind your home, so such materials also get what? Rusted when they are exposed to the sun, okay, or any atmospheric oxygen or atmospheric moisture. Okay, for some days you have to keep it, then only it starts accumulating, resting on its brownish surface, on its layer. Okay, now so even in the kitchen, the pan, iron pan you use, no, for making many things, food items. So if it is kept if it is wet only, and if it is kept as it is in the kitchen for some days, then it gets rusted if it is exposed for the moisture for some time. Okay, this is how the rusting of iron takes place and different materials takes place. Okay, but it is different from iron on which it gets deposited. Okay, how iron rusting takes place, no, it takes more time, but whereas some smaller things, even see the nuts, okay, screws, so which you use, no, to fit anything materials, they also get rusted if they are kept open for long time. And if they are kept open, definitely they get. Even in your fields you might have observed that nut bolts of your motor things, motor or pipelines, okay, that they also get rusted because they are exposed to the atmosphere all the time, even water. Okay, so in order to understand the chemical change, so there is one activity it is given to make you understand the concept of chemical change. Actually it's a lab activity. It should be demonstrated by us only in the science lab. So since I am taking the online class now, so I cannot perform this activity here, so I would do it once if you come back to the school. But here, so this activity is to be done with a much carefulness, because it's a very dangerous activity. Because so looking at this bright light of burning of this activity, magnesium ribbon, it's going to exhibit a very brilliant light, which is not good for our eyes. Okay, so it's the activity I'm going to explain you now. Just try to keep it in your mind. So once, if it is possible, we'll try to perform this activity. It's quite simple here. So what you need to do is take a small piece of or iron strip of magnesium or magnesium ribbon. So here the both words can be used, magnesium ribbon you can say, or thin strip of magnesium you can take. So any one tip of this magnesium ribbon or strip, you just rub it with the sandpaper, okay, which is available in the science lab, right? So then bring the tip of any one tip of this magnesium ribbon or strip near a candle flame. So when it's brought to near a candle flame, it starts burning. So it burns with a brilliant light. Much brilliant light is when it start burning, brilliant light is exposed, or it is seen by us. Okay, it is brilliant light starts coming out of that after at the time of burning. So when it is completely burnt, at that time it leaves behind the powdery ash. So when once the burning process is completed, it leaves behind what? The powdery ash. Ash is the completely white powder ash is left behind. So now look at the change now. So now magnesium ribbon, it is in solid state. After burning, it is converted into powdery substance. Now is it possible to make the ash look back same like the what magnesium ribbon? So does the this ash can be converted into magnesium ribbon now? No. So in case of physical change, you cannot bring back to original state. Okay, that's why it is called irreversible. Chemical changes are always called as irreversible changes. But here in case of chemical change, new substance is formed. So the change can be represented by the following equation here. So what we have done in the burning of magnesium ribbon, that I am explaining with the equation. See, magnesium, that we represented with the letters Mg. When it is burnt in presence of oxygen, that is oxygen, O2, Mg plus O2, then there is a formation of what? Magnesium oxide is formed in this equation. Okay, so dear students, now you understood the concept of chemical change, examples of chemical change and their properties, and one activity of burning magnesium ribbon, so that you will get the magnesium oxide. So dear students, I hope you have understood this concept of today's, that is chemical change. So in tomorrow's class, let me continue with the remaining part of this concept. So thank you and have a nice day.